This is John T for the Boxing Voice, and I'm pleased to say that I'm joined this afternoon by English middleweight prospect James Heneghan. How you doing, James?
I'm good, thanks, mate. How are you?
Yeah, really good. How's today been for you? Been training already this morning?
Yeah, been in this morning. We got some pads, some tech work done, and then back out later. Got a few miles in, bring the weight down slowly.
Yeah, we'll talk about the upcoming fight in a minute. You've got a big fight, less than 2 weeks to go now. But before I come on to that, you're now up to 4 fights as a professional. You've got 4 wins, which is really, really good. You made your debut on a big card in Olympia in Liverpool, hometown for you, on a Dazn card. That must have been some experience for you.
Yeah, I mean, before that, the Olympia in Liverpool is a big venue, and you always hear about what it's like to fight in there and the atmosphere. And then I couldn't have asked for much more on my debut fighting in, a packed out Olympia on fighters. You had like Dazn there, you had JJ Metcalf fighting on it. It was a big card, and I think for me it was the perfect place to make my debut. I hadn't boxed in a year and a half, so I went out there and I put on a good performance, and it was the perfect start to my career.
Yeah, excellent. As you said, a great start. Do you train with any of these names, or was it quite overwhelming thinking, wow, I'm on with a Dazn, for example?
To be honest, when I first went to the gym and match, JJ was training there himself. So I'd known JJ and I'd known just a few others because of being around boxing that long. You sort of see them coming in and out of shows and stuff like that, and you get to know people. But JJ had trained alongside, and I knew what he was like, and it was a pleasure to watch him train. So to watch him fight as well and be on the same cards with him was, it was great for my first fight.
Yeah, that must have been lovely. He's a friend of the site. We had JJ on a week or 2 before his fight against Cheeseman. Sadly, he didn't come off for him, but that definitely, for me, is going to probably be one of the fight of the year contender. And he put up a great effort there, and I'm sure we'll be back soon. So then I think you had another win after that, but then you were on another card with some big Liverpool names up there. I think you were on a Martin Murray card. Rocky Fielding was on there. That must have been great as well.
Yeah, I think it was 1 or 2 fights after the Canelo fight for Rocky. So it was, Rocky's still a massive name, and he's still a former world champion. And whatever way you look at it, we had Martin Murray on there. Dazn was fighting for an IBF European title. It was, it was another big card and another great chance for me to. And it was on the MTK show on IFL on live. So it was great for me to show everyone what I could do really on a big card again, and back in the Olympia with another big crowd. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I bet it was. What's your support like, James? I mean, I find when I interview quite a few Scousers, Liverpool people, that the regional support you lot get is really good. Do you sell a lot of tickets?
Yeah, I do well, and I'm grateful that I do well from the tickets. And it's always nice to, after you have like 6, 7, 8 week training camps, that you've got people who want to come support you and want to come spend their money to watch it. It's a nice feeling, and it's a driving factor when you're training, and when training gets tough, you can't really slack off if you're sitting there training like 3, 4, 5 hours a day, but you've got your mates who are working 8-hour days spending their money to come watch you. So when you put it like that, we've got the easy side really. So them coming to watch me is a big boost.
That's really humble and well said, mate. Well done. Well, look, you had 4 fights in your first year as a pro by the looks of it, your record, which is a good turnaround, getting out that many times in year 1. And then obviously the pandemic struck. So for like 99% of fighters, you've not really had a chance to get out in the last year. How's that been for you?
To be honest, obviously every fighter wants to fight consistently and regularly. But for me, like, I've been in the gym the past 12 months. I've been training hard, and I haven't really lost no focus from it. Don't get me wrong, if the pandemic didn't hit, I'd probably be sitting here speaking to you now on 8, 9 fights, and probably looking towards big domestic fights and domestic titles, hopefully, if everyone went to plan. And obviously that'd be nice, but at the same time, I'm 22, I'm young, I'm still learning every day. I've got plenty of time to make up for that last year, and hopefully now's the time to kick on and do so. And in our gym, we've got plenty of fighters, from not just boxers. We've got pro MMA fighters, pro kickboxers, pro Thai boxers. We've got everyone. So training alongside them day in, day out, it's just been a laugh the past year, and we've just been all learning and getting better. And it sort of makes you keep your focus, because when you're training and when you're happy doing so, you want to be in the gym constantly. You don't want to be out of it. So for me, it hasn't been too bad.
Really grounded, mate, for a young lad, because a lot of fighters I've interviewed over the last 6 months, 9 months have found it really frustrating that they've been inactive. The fact that age is on your side, as you said, you're only 22, but you've got plenty of time to come back from that, which brings me on to your next fight. So the reason we got you on, you're on a big card in less than 2 weeks now, BT card, live on TV. What are you expecting? It's going to be different for you. You're going to be in a bubble. There's going to be no fans there. You've got to go into the hotel a few days beforehand, and it will be probably like a quiet spar in terms of people watching. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an experience. It's one of them things that, you know, not many fighters will get to say that, and obviously when the shows come back on and it gets back to normality. So I'm lucky, really. I'm getting the chance to experience, and I think the fighting side of things, it won't really affect me because I've sparred in empty gyms where there's been no one there but me and the kid I'm sparring and the coach. And I've also sparred in gyms where it's been packed out and it's like a fight. So I'll adapt to either or, and I'm sure once I'm there, I'll be switched on and focused. It'll be another day, and then as long as I perform, I'll be happy.
It sounds like you've been well prepared, and I'm sure your coaches will have you ready for the night anyway. And as you said, an experience. Some of the other fighters I've spoke to, I think they find it frustrating day one because you have to go in and have your test, and then you're not allowed out your hotel room. Yeah. You probably have all us journalists trying to get you on Zoom interviews. It gives you something to do. Either that or take the PlayStation, mate, one or the other. So in terms of your opponent, do you know much about your opponent?
From what I've been told, he's not your typical come to lose journeyman. He will come and try and have a go. And the problem I've had so far with my opponents is because of my style, and I like to hit people as they're hitting me. Like as a thrown, they go into a shell after I've hit them properly, and you know it's totally. I'm not the type of fighter to go throw 100 shots and burn myself out hitting arms, hitting gloves. I like to land when I throw, and you know. So this opponent, if hopefully he throws at me more and he'll try and give me something that I haven't seen before, that'll give me the opportunity to show everyone what I can actually do and all the strength we've been working on, all the shots we've been working on. You know, so hopefully that's what we're hoping for. A bit of a not, I want to say a better fight, but yeah, I know we will come to do that.
Tick a few boxes and give you a bit of a test.
That's it.
Have you sparred any like big names up there? I mean, I'm thinking similar weight. I know you're at middle, but I'm thinking Fowler's at light middle, Metcalf himself's at light middle. Have you ever managed to get some sparring and get some experience with some of these top pros?
Yeah, I mean, when I first went to the gym, I met JJ was there. So JJ was my first proper spar as a pro, and you know, just the way he does things and to learn off him. And I'm sure everyone's seen how tough he was like 2 weeks ago, and the warrior mentality he's got, and that's the same with his training and his sparring. He's just the exact same like that, and that's priceless to get, especially at the beginning of my career. And I'd never really sparred pros before, so it was an eye opener. I was lucky enough last summer to get rounds in with Callum Smith. I got about 6 rounds in with him, and that again, just watching what they do when they're in front of you and how they react to things and how they see things. It's stuff you can't really you can't be taught that on the pads. You've got to learn as it's in front of you. And I think a few weeks after that, I got round in with Jimmy Kelly, who obviously fought Liam Smith not long, like a few years back.
Yeah, like you say, it's that kind of sparring. You can't buy that. You know, you're training with proper elite athletes who've been doing it years longer than you. So really good. I'm sure that'll put you in good place for fight night. Well, look, good luck on the fight. Before I let you go, a couple more fights coming up around your weight. You're obviously a middleweight, so I'll mention this weekend's one first. We've got Liam Williams from Wales, but obviously he's a Brit, so he's going all the way over to America to fight Andrade for his first stab at a world title. What do you fancy his chances there? Do you think he can beat Demetrius?
I think he can, but I don't know whether he's extremely confident or he's underestimating Demetrius a bit. Andrade's been champion for a long time, and whether he hasn't had as many big fights as he should have, he's still a class world champion. So I think Williams has to be on top of his game to go over there and beat him. But I think he's capable of it. It's one of them fights where it's whoever comes and has the better game plan.
Well said again. I have that very similar. I have that as a proper 50-50. I think you've nailed it with the experience at Andrade. You know, he's fought at a high level. He's undefeated. I think he's had 29 fights. Liam has lost a couple, but in my opinion, he's the most improved fighter since those defeats to Liam Smith, another Liverpool player. So, yeah, it makes for a great fight. So we'll look forward to that. But you get up in the night and watch that because it's on the middle of the night in Florida, I think.
Yeah. I'll try to, but I do this every time. I say I'm going to try to get up, and then I get up and I'm like, nah, I'll watch it in the morning. But hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yeah, fair play. Well, enjoy it if you do. And then the big one for me, and a lot of Brits as well, the card you're actually on. I'm sure you're chuffed to be on a 50-50 fight like that against Denzel Bentley and Felix Cash. How do you see that fight going? You've got one with the British title, one with the Commonwealth. They're both undefeated. They've both got a similar knockout ratio. 50-50 again on paper.
Yeah, I think it's one of them fights. I think it's going to be fireworks. You know, you've seen when Felix Cash got in there against Jack Cullen, that was fireworks, and that was probably a contender for one of the fights of the years. And then Denzel Bentley and Mark Heffron was another one. That was a proper fight. And so I think just off his performance against Heffron, I'm leaning more towards Bentley for this fight. But Felix Cash, he's strong, he's tough, he's a very good boxer, and he can punch as well. So I think whoever goes in there and takes the first couple rounds will get the other one out, I think.
Really interesting. Again, let's see if it goes the distance, but I'm waiting with anticipation. Well, look, enjoy your time in the bubble with these people as well, because you hopefully get to sit in the, I know no one's going to be drinking and that, but if you sit down in reception, if you're allowed, you can still mix with them and sort of like have a chat and that and get to know them.
Yeah.
Good luck on fight night. And what we'll do, we'll pick up with you after the fight. Hopefully you got a win on your belt. We'll come and see you in the gym and we'll get you on for another interview. All right?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, mate.
Cheers, James. All the best.
Enjoy the video. Feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, Entitled, betting shows. The list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.